Or they have the opportunity to beat Garm as just a little bit of friendship going on in the mid lane. Froggy getting the frog emote from Glory, and just it's so hard. It's so tough for Wales because if they win here, they still don't lock playoffs. They either have to beat Garm or bet on Secret. Now Secret's a pretty safe bet. I do realize that we just saw them get thrashed.
No,
but
you're wrong. Sorry, it's not Secret. Saigon Buffalo plays ASE, so you would assume Saigon Buffalo wins that one. ASE is not Secret. Yeah.
No, I'm saying for Team Wales to get into playoffs. Team Wales need, because then they want Team Secret to beat SBTC.
Oh yeah, speaking of the other team,
Buffalo are probably going to get in because they get to play ASE.
Yeah. Buffalo's in. Okay, yes, yeah, sure. Yeah. I was wrong. Sorry.
Yeah. So, Team Wales got a tough road ahead of them. Secret should be able to beat SBTC, but even if they win here, they still have an uphill battle to go. SGB, if they win, they can take it easy. They can take the rest of the split off. They can just vibe for their match against ASE. It doesn't really matter. You are not in control of your destiny of who you fight in playoffs round one. So just gonna put it all on the line here. It feels completely reasonable.
And to elaborate on that a little bit longer, I don't want to stretch this point out too far, but what does Team Secret really have to play for? Right? They are locked in second place, just now lost to Garm, who is assuming they don't lose tomorrow.
Assuming Garm doesn't lose to Wales, yes.
Yeah,
as a hook comes in,
Team Secret very likely has nothing to play for. Yeah, so banking on a team that doesn't have anything to play for, Team Wales is definitely in a position where it will be hard for them. So Team Wales this game definitely needs to be very, very strong and make something in the early game, as this competition is absolutely dreadful from the side of Saigon Buffalo. This Zeri definitely needs a clear answer. Whether the Zaya is a clear answer remains to be seen. I think it kind of isn't, but maybe a variety can prove me wrong and show that he can defeat his old team.
Yeah, we're trying to see, especially this top side. Nagia was able to win the first matchup, the Renekton into one, but when Hasmid took the opposite side, he kind of crushed Nagia harder than he got crushed himself. So this time, he's got the counter matchup. He's actually confident on this Narpic. And here comes a dive very early on. It seems a little bit hard to pull off. Actually, scratch that. Just pops instantly. I was expecting it to take a little bit longer. But that's a kill. That's a teleport from Hasmed. That's not going to get anything. That gives so much free time for Nagia to just end up controlling a wave, crash this for free against the Gnar, and you kind of won both sides of the map with a great play. Exactly, both sides of the map are pretty much won now. I mean, the Renekton was struggling against the Gnar, now he's slightly ahead, can shove this wave, it will be denied against Hasmed, who just know, the TP just has to walk all the way back into the top lane. Kill goes over to Killer Queen regardless of that, and early kills on the lane is something you would usually like to have, but Killer Queen getting an early kill is also something that can be very good for them as Killer Queen here. We see him, wave is in, level 3 getting pretty classic, CC being locked down, Killer Queen goes for the play. CBL tanks the turret as he can do so on the Nautilus, so it's very playable for the side of Team Wales, and there's basically no counterplay on the side of Tagi, who just pretty much instantly dies despite being Tahm Kench. And Team Wales now 2 small advantages across the board, and Killer Queen having this early kill gets the early Sheen and Longsword. I like junglers getting the early kills and then translating it to the other team members later on, as they can now with this kill impact basically any lane, whichever lane they just choose to focus on. Gonna fall a little bit behind BJ right now in the experience department, as BJ was able to benefit and take away that wave that was crashing. So it's denied from Hasmed, picked up elsewhere. And this kill will be nice. I do agree. Early kills onto your jungler to get them into a good position where they can have that advantage towards that first Rift Herald at 8 minutes is absolutely crucial. And when it's someone like Killer Queen, who is a big star, big highlight of this roster, you definitely want to see him try and get the best advantage you can, especially if he pairs up with Glory in this mid lane. Now Froggy looking for something, but could overreach a bit. No, great trade, just forces Killer Queen down, chunks out a really, really heavy amount of damage for just a Doran swing. Just a Doran swing. Cooldown Bull's not really helping the damage department, but Vex is just that strong. Especially Wukong is like very tanky, but
mostly just tanky against AD threats, so the Vex not really caring about that at all. And right now, Killer Queen, of course, happy with his kill. Tried to go for a chicken invade, but wasn't quite having any of that, as BJ and Foggy were, of course, stepping in. Killer Queen now still very, very angry, going for this Gromp on the other side of the map to just steal that one away, to deny something from BJ, as he is currently on his Brad buff. Both junglers not really having the highest clear speed, so it can be done for him. And a new bot lane dive is not to be expected. I think the show is not that strong. And Killer Queen needs to be careful, as BJ is also arriving on his side of the jungle.
Crash is just a bit too late. BJ will be interrupted by Glory, so this gives Killer Queen that angle, that time, that space he wanted to try and set it up, but now it's far too late. BJ, they know, is in the area. Quick back away. All in all, it's just going to be a tower plate. That's still small victories coming together for Killer Queen and the side of Team Wales, but they can't quite blow it open into the lead that we're really looking for.
You good?
Alrighty is in trouble. Going to blow the heal. Cannot get the stun. The flash as well. This collapse. Alrighty just ate a lot of damage in those earlier trades and gets punished for it in the long haul.
And Team Wales just kind of moving on to map without really getting anything. It was just this one plating by all this movement coming on for Killer Queen. But now BJ in a very awkward spot.
Okay, interesting. Flashes because he realizes he is going to be collapsed on, and then you can dodge a lot, but you can't dodge the flash auto attack from CBL, and just finds himself in a bad position, does BJ, and this is going to be a pretty easy convert to a crash wave. Don't feel confident going for the dragon, so yeah. Small victories.
It's just small victories, but small victories everywhere, and this is why I think Team Wales is in a very good position right now. This kill just now going towards Glory, Killer Queen having the other one, Nagia also getting the small advantage for this TP, fail by the side of Husband, and just across the board, Team Wales kind of propelling ahead. By now it's a bit more than 1000 gold even, so it starts to matter by now, and especially for an early Herald fight, early Drake fight, it could be something of importance. So Saigon Buffalo, despite this good draft they pulled off, despite this good scaling they pulled off, this time again, kind of in a rough situation where Team Wales, if they play this out cleanly, definitely can make some arguments for the players and win this game to to get some spit in the soup for the side of SGB and make it hard for them to on their own make the playoffs and make statements towards World's qualification, because the race for second place is very much on. Despite Gampo pulling up further as a first place team, the second place team is very much undecided right now.
Yeah, and Team Wales, this top lane advantage, this mid lane advantage, they're going to sacrifice Ariadne for it, but they will get the Rift Herald. Not much this guy can do. Taki tanking up the tower beautifully. Another shot onto Shogun will put him in a little bit of hurt, but Ariadne buying a lot of time, but left alone in 3v1.
I think overall it's an okay trade for both teams. I think it's very huge to get the first Rift Herald, as it will be guaranteed plating money, basically worth of a kill. What's also worth of a kill is a kill itself, of course, and they just killed Ariadne, so that's definitely nice to have on the side of SGB. Kill going over to the side of BJ, if I recall correctly, so that's far from ideal, but still something that they can make use of. Ariadne also burning a Feather Storm, there's no way really to get out for him. He could have maybe used it a tad later to deny more on the side of SGB getting the health buff lower, as Shogun and also Taki dropped very, very low. But like this, it's, yeah, SGB in theory closing in a little bit on the gold, but the Herald charge, of course, remains to be seen how much Team Wales can really swipe over that. They can, of course, also use this Rift Herald to make a distraction towards the Drake and then just translate this over to get the Drake on their own. As an Ocean Drake would definitely be, especially in the early game, be something that makes them much stronger in the laning phase, which looks already pretty good.
Just standing up a 10. Feels really, really angry towards Ariadne. So I feel Ariadne knows. Ariadne used to play where Shogun was. This whole team roster, just that 180 carry position changed. There's just a lot of time spent. Not really going to get anything from it.
There are 4 members in the bot lane. They aren't really getting anything aside from like a few minions of advantage. It's not good enough for the side of SGB at all, and Team Wales is probably very happy about that. I don't even know if they quite saw that BJ was spending so much time in this brush, so maybe it's just not mattering that much in the bigger picture. As of course, that can be done as a Poppy, right? The Poppy is just going this Barmy Cinder route, so she will just go for Sunfire or Frostfire Gauntlet, which of course can be like some part of important in this damage department if it will be the Sunfire, but overall not ideal kill allocation for them. As Glory in the mid lane?
Yeah,
was he using the ult?
No, it didn't look like it.
He wasn't.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, just Poppy, both junglers just sort of working around the map, trying to cover their lanes, and they're gonna get a dragon for the side of Team Wales. Objectives very much firmly in their favor. But again, we start just playing it really slowly. This time around, the mid-game team not really getting that big advantage like it was able to in the last game. Very. But that said, it's 11 minutes. It's about okay. There's a Rift Herald yet to be activated. The explosive potential is there for Killer Queen.
It absolutely is. I mean, it's a bit more than 1k. It is a Drake and still the Rift Herald, so it will just be closer to like 2k in gold stats if we really add up all these small victories that Team Wales got over the map. I mean, they are basically winning all lanes right now, as top lane is even, which is good for them. Jungle ahead of their own part, as Wukong out farming any other jungler is pretty impressive. And yeah, just the bot lane kind of struggling right now, with Ariete being left alone for this Rift Herald rotation they went earlier for. But right now, I mean, it just looks like these early mid-game competitions just do more than these scaling options, as both games so far the scaling compositions were losing, and this game, it looks no different than this, as just now Killer Queen goes for the Scatter Clap, gets a lot more gold on his side. But this Rift Herald will slowly but surely expire, and he really needs to place it right now. Looks like that he will focus on Glory to really open up the map.
There's enough
Shadow
of
Surge?
an angle there. Shadow Surge is going to go in. It's not going to amount to too much. It's only going to force them back. It will save the tower, but that still plates into the Ahri, plates into the Wukong, getting them closer and closer to the power spikes where they can continue to break open the map, hit the side lanes hard.
And it's Wukong Ahri, yeah. Very strong mid jungle duo, so definitely makes sense to really propel them further ahead in the gold department.
Yeah, and we're just gonna sort of see, try to find a response. Nagia's gonna take it to Hasmid while the mini form is available. Wukong is in the area, but so is BJ. And now Hasmid might be in trouble. Flash is available. I can't get quite onto Hasmid, but it gets BJ instead, and the way out is clear. They're just going to take that one. Wasn't intended to target, but hey, it's something.
You just take the target that's there, right? I mean, BJ kind of had to be there to bail out the side of Hasmid, who would otherwise die. He just barely got out of range with the flash on the mini now, and Nagia just, goes for the flash double stun and double dashes out like it's Mario Kart. So one more victory for the side of Team Wales, and in these small skirmishes, Team Wales look very strong, and Saigon Buffalo needs to respect it. So far, they kind of failed to do so. It's kind of a VCS classic, I would always say. The pressure just keeps mounting for the side of Team Wales. It just remains to be seen if they are clutch enough to execute with this lead. As this lead right now looks very scary for them. Better early game comp with that lead. With those Drakes right now also being pretty much on their favor, it's looking good for them.
Definitely, and small advantages, of course. As mentioned, really that big mid lane is really where the only really noticeable goal difference is going to be against jungle as well. And Sierra's going to take a little bit damage, but feels confident enough, feels quite safe. But now, Killer Queen going in super aggressive. Did not realize Taki was there, I don't think. But nothing to punish him for doing so. And they're going to take control of this river. Move up. Still early for Dragon.
They kind of said that he didn't realize Taki is there, but he didn't really have to care because Taki isn't doing anything to him right now. It's just how behind they are. It's just Shogun maybe dying.
Yeah, okay, so very deep dive. Shogun is going to be able to scoot away very quickly and not actually be in any real threat of danger. But that's a flash blown, that's a ghost blown. And can they pick up this tower?
I think they can, using both summoners on the AD carry when he's very close to the next Drake fight. Like 1 minute the Infernal Drake would be on the table. This looks very much Team Wales script, as they just grab 2 turrets, the mid lane tier 1 turret, bot lane tier 1 turret. The turret's close to the Drake falling, so Saigon Buffalo definitely struggling to find any sort of map control close to the Drake area. And just now, they got the second turret, but that's just kind of a consolation prize, I would say, with all the advantages that Team Wales put up. And Another thing I want to highlight is we have 3 Renekton games on blue side and 3 Renekton builds. At this time it will be the God Drinker for him, as just now. Thank you VTV observers, show this one. This is like the more classic Renekton build. We have seen the solo key one-shot build last game, and the Sunfire Cape Giga Tank, Giga Shot build from Nagia in the first game that won them the game. This time Nagia is going for a different option, the God Drinker, to just sustain through these fights and be like half tank, half carry, and just destroy the enemy team in the mid game.
Yeah, definitely taking the option to just say, I need to be able to threaten Harsmed's now in mini now, but I also want to be able to survive the poke from it as well. So, well, Gore Drinker, it's a classic for a reason. It's just kind of good, and this dragon now spawning for the side of Wales should be an easy pickup, and the claps can come in. This entire bot side of the map belongs to them. You can see the deep vision. And just gonna see how SGB wants to respond. I imagine the top side play looks to be it.
They have to respond in some way, and while the Drake focus is expected, you of course want to focus on the top side. They also still have the second Herald, remember, so they can at least go for like maybe a dive into a charge, or just the charge in general, to at least get 1 tier 1 to it. But so far Nagia is not having any of that, can just defend it on his own. But gotta say, Wales also not making an early move towards this Drake just yet, as we just see Glowy on the Disco Aoi with the Cleanse Ghost Summoner spells, pushing out this bot lane wave to establish the priority, and then they're moving for the Drake. Very disciplined call by the side of Team Wales to go for the no-risk play and get this second Drake under the belt, and then we will see which soul we will get, which map we will get, and I'm just happy to see that it will be a Cloud soul, and yeah, Cloud again. So more chase ability for an Aoi, for a Wukong, also nice to have.
It's Atlas. Is he involved in this somehow with his Cloud Drake powers? I don't know. We got a third one. This is gonna, again, it's not necessarily a big game-winning Drake, but this could be a game-saving play for the side of SGB. Nagia in a lot of trouble. There's so much CC, and now with Taki to lock it down for sure. Can he trade it back? Maybe CBL is here, but that Devour just in time. There's not enough of a collapse. Glory will be here. And I will deny the push, but oh no, don't overstep, buddy.
Yeah, don't overstep, don't choose Ghost, don't chase into it. It's just kind of like the Husband TP very early in the game.
Oh, but the whiff, but the flash to get the steadfast presence saves it, and that's a free pickup on the Glory.
We pick up onto Glory, yeah. Just uses TP just to die over there. Very, very sad to see. And this is one way in for the side of SGB to get back into this game. They are on the scaling competition. They just closed down 1/4 of this gold deficit. And it is just Nagia slowly dying in the 1v3. Yeah, very good dive played here. Very much taking down by the side of Hasmet and BJ, just spreading out all the turret damage. And then when the turret is close to almost finish somebody off, the Devour is being there. And then, yeah, with CBL buying so much time, the call was maybe to just follow it up and clean up some members. Glowy was definitely trying to do something there, and he was trying to do too much. Overstayed, assumed that the members from Saigon Buffalo were already leaving, but Flash that was present is there, so he can get stopped mid-dash, and with that, it's just Glowy falling down, and Saigon Buffalo with their first small W in this game.
Just definitely not aware of, you could say they didn't know where SGB was. There was no response coming out, expecting those resets to be coming through. And now good placement of the tower. Got some objective bounties, which seems a little bit egregious at 3k. But that's gonna happen. They're gonna pick that up.
Well, it's 3k and 2 Drakes. Looks like a pretty substantial Wales lead, so either way. That being a bit close right now, 2.4k right now anymore, and the 2 Drakes still, of course, on the table for Team Wales. But now, with this small comeback from SGB, we really need to respect them. They are on this incredibly well-scaling competition. Zeri now on 2 items, just now completed Phantom Dancer and the Berserker's Grief, so Shogun will definitely be up to the task in the next team fight. He also regained his Summoner spells as Flash and Ghost were blown in this one bot line dive play that almost worked out, where it demanded Team Wales control over this Infernal Drake they did earlier. In the next fight, yeah, maybe Shogun is just ready for the play. Otherwise, Team Wales, with this Cloud Storm being there, want to some extent, potentially shift their focus towards the Baron area and break the game apart with that one, as it would take at least 10 minutes to get a Cloud Soul, and even then, it would just be the Cloud Soul. Of course, it's a very strong soul in general, but it just won't win you the game in combat stats alone, so there are more advantages to take from the side of Team Wales, and they definitely need to stay focused, stay on the pedal, and keep pressing Saigon Buffalo, as eventually Saigon Buffalo would regain control of the game.
There's Baron on the map now. The pedal seems to be control this top side, but it's still just so very hard for Team Wales to find the angle they're looking for. SGB playing so far back, not wanting to risk anything this game, so we're probably going to be stuck waiting for another objective to really come into play, or a pretty decent overstep, which might be happening towards this red buff right now if we can get a look. Red buff will be taken by BJ. Not as much as a commitment as the pogs on the screen we're sort of indicating, perhaps.
Yes, and right now both mid laners in the top lane skirmishing a little bit. Huge CS hit by Glory, by the way. I mean, we know Froggy is not really the farming enjoyer in general, and he kind of got rid of that in Spring Split. What's that charm block? That looked weird. It looked like the charm got blocked by the Saber's presence, but the charm is a projectile, not a dash. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I think just...
It was just short, I guess. It looked weird. Similar range.
Yeah, it looks like that. But it's Flashpoint from Taki. That could become relevant later on, but a couple of ultimates burned means the team fight is not going to be quite as explosive for Team Wales. Can't quite bring it together for this fight in 13 seconds. SGB might be able to find their angle. No Cyclone to lock up Zeri.
And I think if Wales plays it cool, they can easily secure this drake, as the Mega Nut just now seems to be running out for Hasmet, and you can't just 5v5 with Mini now so well. So this is an angle for them.
That was huge. A great charm into the follow-up from Arietti. Locks out Froggy. Glory gets booted away, but that's still the kill coming through. And that's the kill as a reward.
That's a drake and a permanent soul point for the side of Team Wales. So now Saigon Buffalo definitely feels threatened by what Team Wales has up to the task here. And they just now maybe try to go for something like a Baron, but it looks to be not something they can afford to do. I mean, you don't have the damage for it. You could maybe take it up with BJ and Taki, but Zeri alone, especially this underfarmed Zeri, can't do much about it. So it will be the soul point for Team Wales. 3 drakes in their arsenal now. Some movement speed, some slow distance is definitely nice to have in general, and just helps you move around the map, and even in fights itself can just be the difference maker to improve your kiting a little bit better. So now Team Wales still in a very comfortable position, but this gold lead isn't really extending. It's 3k gold right now. It also was like 4k gold like 5 minutes ago, and I want to see a clear answer for Team Wales to really break open this game in the next few minutes, where they likely play around the Baron.
4-3 at 23 minutes. Very, very slow. Very much both teams trying to keep each other at arm's length. Very small mistakes, very small outplays has been what has found these few kills so far.
Oh, Glowy.
I'm going to walk into Froggy, but this
He's
may
at the
just
levels.
end up bad for the Vex. Has that advantage in level, has the ultimate, 2 more charges. Can Froggy land the next fear? No, he cannot, and that's a solo kill for the Wales mid laner.
And I think Milky yesterday in the discussion was talking about Froggy maybe being the best mid laner, but no, that's of course far off, as he just now got absolutely destroyed by Glowy. And yes, Vex is good against mobility, but the passive can only be up so much. Ari has 3 charges with the Spirit Rush, doesn't even need to use a flash, and Glowy just finds his angle, fades it into the Vex, and just kills him.
Oh, it's a big knockback from Harsman, but it's not going to be enough to save him. And this fight is going on hectic in the bot lane. A bit of a weird angle on that Featherstorm, the flash over the wall to save Arietti's life. BJ hitting that blast code, trying to get something all together. But in the end, just those 2 kills across the map. And look, I'm going to be... Like, Froggy has never been the strongest laner, and I think someone like Glory is pretty much a kryptonite to him. Because Glory is really good in that lane, and can actually... and mechanically, and can shut down Froggy's weaker skills so he doesn't get to flourish on the map. But, so I think, and Froggy's had a good split. This is not a great series, but I think it's Glory. Glory's just so good, man.
Glory had also a very good split already, like when he was on the Team Wales, when Team Wales was struggling, right? He was always the shining light of the team, and now that the rest of the team steps up, he looks even better. Glory even making arguments to be one of the better mid laners of split so far, as Yado hasn't really impressed that much. I gotta be honest about that as a Cerberus fan even. And in this summer split, definitely good split by Globy overall. Froggy, of course, also. It is not as bad as his winter split, where he was like not farming, also not winning skirmishes. Yeah. Let's not talk about Froggy's winter split too much. Definitely step up from that one. Like, Glory is better than even this version of Froggy, who has not quite lived up to his spring split hype, where he was regaining his form completely, but overall still a decent split. And this pickup and this other pickup as well for side of Team Wales in this mid game where they are strong could be detrimental to them, maybe getting the playoff chances very much higher. And so far, looking good for them.
And very good. Top side is going to be their domain for this set up around Baron. That is, of course, always something to worry about. No team really wants to start it off, and completely understandable. No one wants to risk the old classic Baron throw. BJ, he's sort of hunting around for something and just cannot quite see where it is. It's a small lead. What do you want SGB to do to take the initiative and trying to claw the game back?
Not get caught like Binjay is.
Yeah, okay, I did. So that did sort of time out pretty badly, as Hasmed is now completely caught on the wrong side of the map as a mini Nah. He will be burst down in no time at all. Perhaps not, in fact. And now Shogun gets to be reeled right up. It's actually a win for the side of SGB. Glory gets caught out, but BJ survives. But they're going to have the pressure to take this tower, take this bounty. And SGB, well, that's one way to get back into it, I suppose.
That's one answer. I wasn't even quick enough to answer the question, but SGBD definitely was, as they just go for this fight. And Shogun was completely untouched in this team fight. Nobody on the team Wales having the courage to really go for it. As you will see, BJ arguably getting caught, but so is Glory, right? So it's definitely a hard fight to play for the side of Team Wales already in an awkward corridor where he's getting zoned off by the stopwatch target. He's trying to attack, and while Nagia gets some access, he doesn't really hit the backline itself, so there's not really any room for them to play. And it ultimately results in Shogun just gunning down CBL, single pick for them, and this tier 1 turret, which gives them map control and also the objective bounty. So one strong showing from SGB. However, the timing is kind of unlucky, as for the Drake itself, the movement is still there for the side of Team Wales. Gotta say, right now you could just trade Baron for Drake, because Team Wales can afford to give over the Drake, while SGB absolutely can't.
Yeah, right now, honestly, SGB right now looking pretty comfortable on their ultimate time. It's just that bot lane missing theirs, but everyone else is fine. Hassman's in a good space for Mega Nah, so this could be dangerous.
Oh, Poppy.
Here comes the Poppycopter and the Shadow Surge. This is going to be huge. CBL got knocked away. That's just the support, and Killer Queen doesn't even care. Doesn't even need him. Gonna take out 2, and Glory's going for more stopwatch, as he may have overstepped. BJ taken down to next to nothing, and the Flash will finish it off. Now Shogun all alone. Any bit of CC and this Zeri will pop. CBL's going to try and get in range for that depth charge, but over the wall goes the Zeri once again. And this is still enough for them to say, it's Baron time.
It's Baron time after that team fight. I did chase a little bit too much, I gotta say, trying to catch that Zeri when I was thinking, like, do they go for the soul? Do they even try to go for the end? Probably not, with Shogun being alive, of course. So they just go for the Baron right now and lose actually some time to go for the soul itself. Even though it likely won't matter, as they can just claim the soul on the way back. As I reset just now, the Baron recall timers being very short, could just go forward. And this fight, we will likely see a replay of that in a few seconds, so I will hold my horses on that one. But the consequence of this fight are absolutely massive. Team Wales just now getting Baron, and here we see the fight, how it plays out. They kind of bait themselves in with this Shadow Surge and the Keeper's Verdict landing, but they only knocked on CBL on the side of BJ. Fori dies pretty quickly, so he can't really dish out the damage, can't work with his passive very much, and Glory can just keep chasing in. Late Lightning Crash comes out by Shogun, so before he really starts to do damage, his front line is already gone, and he just used the Lightning Crash to really get away out of that, so it will just be a very huge fight for Team Wales. They get the Baron, they get the Soul as well, and Saigon Buffalo are swimming.
Actually, just the pressure for Team Wales is enough to clear this pit area, clear the Soul, pick it up for themselves, and this can be huge. Ari loves this reset, the resets, loves the extra movement speed. Killer Queen loves the movement speed. Nagia loves it. Even Variety loves it. It's really just CBL feeling a little bit left out by the soul bonus. And this means that their team fights their ability to try and jump on top of Shogun should be even easier. And right now it's Baron. Right now it's time for the siege. Wave clear is still good, so it's not quite as easy as perhaps you would like for Team Wales. But if they're playing this 1-4, they're playing it very nicely, and they're going to pick up a lot of damage onto mid lane.
They absolutely are, using the Baron buff in multiple lanes to really spread out all the pressure they have on the map, and Saigon Buffalo's trying to find an answer. The wave clear is kind of mediocre, I would say, with Zeri and Vex being there, and even if it would be good, it's still against Baron empowered minions, so Team Wales just getting a freeway ticket into the enemy base, getting at least one inhibitor, and it might just result in them getting two, as the mid lane Tier 1 to Tier 3 turret also dropping quite low, and also potentially fighting on a dive. Killer Queen would have everything up, aside from his flash, could just go for a Cyclone, but they aren't going for the dive. Keeper's Verdict prevents worse from happening. They left Nagia a little bit alone, yeah. But it's, you can't just Shadow Surge onto this Nagia. I mean, he doesn't have the Sunfire Cape this game, but he's still quite beefy with the Force of Nature Stellax and the Goldrinker. And it will just be two inhibitors, and Saigon Buffalo, they need a miracle fight to get back into this game. Despite all their great scaling, Belladoff always loses, we know it in the VCS, and so far it's looking good for the Team Wales.
Team Wales, two inhibitors cracked open. Just need to focus their attention onto this top side now. 4 minutes until this Elder Drake. That's the time where Team Wales really wants to close out before, because a steal from that and a Zeri approaching her 4th item, getting closer to that Infinity Edge, that can just change everything.
Yeah, so... Speaking of the Infinity Edge, it's pretty important because Ariety has one and Shogun doesn't, so that's kind of what the difference currently is. Yeah, 5v5 is generally easier to play when you're a stronger AD carry, and Infinity Edge itself is just such a massive power spike for AD carries because it just makes them those crits from just being nice to have to being really important, as you of course will crit at least every other auto attack with the 60% and also have this increased damage from it, so very huge for them. Also Stopwatch for good measure on the side of Ariety, so yes, Flash, Featherstorm and Stopwatch, 3 tools to get the hell out of dodge if anything happens to really fall apart for them. And SGB, I thought they might need one Miracle Engage, maybe they need 2 or 3 of them.
And now, Nagia looking closer, ever closer to getting towards that Flash. And when that gets up, he becomes that threat that Zeri has to really watch out for. That Flash, Ruthless Predator, can completely ruin what SGB wants to do. Final inhibitor turret is under siege. This will fall down shortly. And now we're getting close to the point where SGB are going to have to make a stand. I don't think they get to just hold on and wait for a Dragon Steel anymore.
Last inhib, it's so important. You should make a last stand right here.
Yeah, he gets knocked away. BJ is going to go in, but he is taken down so low, so quickly. Killer Queen goes right in, and the depth charges right onto Shogun. That's the Flash W from Nagia, and that's it. Good night, Shogun. Good night, Buffalo. And the playoff dreams are not dead for Team Wales.
The Wales are circling. Beautiful finish of the 3rd game, getting this early game advantages and just keeping to press the medal, and Saigon Buffalo wasn't having any of that. Renekton, 3 games, 3 wins, definitely the best champion in the game apparently. And
Croc is king.
Yeah, Croc is king. We are in the Vietnamese Croc series here, and Team Wales